Hi guys, welcome to the REMATCH channel. Famous British boxer Chris Eubank Jr. recently trained with former heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua in Dubai, and now has no doubt that his compatriot will defeat Alexander Usyk in a rematch. It was great in Dubai. The training there turned out to be amazing. It was cool to be around AJ. We spent a lot of time together, training together, went out, he is in great shape. And yes, Joshua watched my workouts. We gave each other advice, it was great. Look, Anthony is still hungry. Despite all his money and achievements, he remains as hungry as ever. Joshua still wants to get better, wants to make progress. He wants this victory, he wants to avenge this defeat 100%. I don't see why he can do it. Joshua needs to change his plan for the fight, and he knows it. As Anthony showed in the rematch with Alexander Usyk, he is able to change and develop as a fighter, so I am confident in his victory, Eubank said in an interview. WBC heavyweight world champion Tyson Fury continues to ruthlessly troll his division rivals. This time, his compatriot Anthony Joshua was hit by the Briton. The Gypsy King posted a post on social networks in which he showed himself next to Joshua. At the same time, Fury noted that having frankly poor form against AJ, he was able to significantly surpass him in terms of boxing achievements. 24 wins against 31, 2 losses against 0, no belt against all belts, but 6 coups against 0, Tyson Fury wrote on his Twitter page. Earlier, Fury, in a similar style, ridiculed Vladimir Klitschko and Deontay Wilder for their defeats in a fight with him. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. If you really enjoy the content, then please subscribe to my channel and keep watching the videos. If you are subscribed, then you receive notifications about the release of new videos. You do not even have to look for anything personally. I really want to get 10,000 subscribers on my channel. I'm trying very hard absolutely every day, and I need your support. Your likes, comments, reposts to social networks. Thanks to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You are my support. Thank you so much. Former world welterweight champion Regis Prograis praised the current WBC heavyweight title holder Tyson Fury. According to the American boxer, the Briton could defeat most of the great heavyweights. I'm looking at the history of boxing. I think Tyson Fury would have caused problems for any heavyweight of any era. Perhaps he would have defeated most of the great heavyweights, Regis Prograis wrote on his Twitter page. Recall that Fury has a victory over the former heavyweight hegemon Vladimir Klitschko, whom he unexpectedly defeated on points in 2015. Also, the Gypsy King defeated Deontay Wilder twice ahead of Shadow and drew another fight with him. However, in duels against the American Puncher, Fury himself found on the verge of early defeat. The WBC and IBF lightweight heavyweight world champion Artur Beterbiev believes that the WBC heavyweight title holder Tyson Fury will be a more difficult opponent for Alexander Usyk than Anthony Joshua. I think Tyson Fury is a different character, it won't be so easy with him, and moreover, it is larger in size. Honestly, no offense to Tyson Fury, but for example, if you look at Muhammad Ali, he is so clear, you can see that he is an athlete, not as muscular as Anthony Joshua, but it is clear that he is a boxer, an athlete. If you look at Tyson Fury, you will meet him somewhere on the street, you will say that he's not an athlete. I'm a little confused that an athlete promotes such an appearance. And so if everything works out for him in this form, I have no questions, Artur Beterbiev said. Beterbiev reproached British heavyweight Anthony Joshua for his performance in the fight against Alexander Usyk. I can't comment on this moment because I haven't watched their fight yet. I was then in training in Canada, in Montreal. Right on the eve of the fight, some correspondent contacted me and started talking to me about the Olympics. Back and forth, set me on fire a little bit. I'm a living person anyway, I'm fine with all these processes. When he told me about the Olympic Games were my dream. I came to boxing because of the Olympics. This has motivated me throughout my career. And he said that this fight is discussed everywhere, that I won and I was sued. And then he asks about the fight with Joshua. I answered this question very simply. I said I was giving Usyk a chance. He asks, "You're not giving Usyk a chance at all." I answer, "Why do not give? Whoever is well prepared will win." And so it turned out. At the time, Usyk was well prepared. As we understood after the fight, Joshua has problems with a lefty. This is his big minus. I said elementary, simple things. If Joshua loses to Usyk, then he is a bad heavyweight, a bad boxer. If you are a boxer of this level, you should know elementary things, for example, how to box with a lefty. Arthur better be offside in an interview. Joe Joyce believed that he would have performed well in a fight against Alexander Usyk. At the moment, Alexander had 3 world heavyweight titles. In case of a victory over Anthony Joshua in a rematch, Usyk will have to focus on fights against mandatory contenders, one of which is a Joyce. According to the Briton, he would put constant pressure on Alexander, forcing him to make mistakes and spend a lot of effort on movement and defensive actions. In the first fight with Joshua, Usyk performed superbly. I expect to see something similar or even better performance again. I think I would have caused Usyk a lot of problems. Styles make fights. I think my styles is very suited to compete with him. Constant pressure from my side would make the fight great. According to 36-year-old Joe Joyce, he will look forward to a rematch between Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk. In the first match, the Ukrainian was able to make an upset, having outboxed the Briton at the end of 12 rounds and becoming the world champion in 3 versions. Joe Joyce believed that Joshua should change his fight plan and take advantage of his height and weight. If Joshua uses his size, he will get an advantage over Usyk. You just have to try to beat him. At some time, it's not that easy, because Usyk is a very smart boxer. As he himself said, he was 3 steps ahead of Anthony Joshua. Anthony needs to change the pattern of the fight and cause some damage with his punches, but not burn all the gasoline. I'm watching for this fight. I want to find out what the result will be, whether Joshua will be able to cope with Usyk. I will watch the rematch just as a fan. At the same time, I have a meet and I know them both. Joshua is also from the United Kingdom and he is my former teammate, so I will be rooting for him, Joyce admits. The UFC heavyweight champion Frenchman Francis Ngannou says that he has no doubt that his boxing match against the WBC world heavyweight champion Briton Tyson Fury will take place. At some time, Francis doesn't expect to be able to share the ring with Tyson this year. I can say for sure when Fury and I will fight. I think it will happen sometime next year. I still have a contract with the UFC, so I don't know what my situation is and how it will develop. Still, I'm sure that our fight will take place at some point. This is definitely what I want, but right now I can't control anything, Ngannou said. Francis also admitted that he considers Fury one of the best heavyweights in history. I know that it will be very difficult for me during our fight. I will have to test myself in a fight with one of the best, if not the best boxer of all time. He has repeatedly proved that he is a tough guy, but I doubt that he has met a fighter with a punch like mine, Ngannou added. Sergey Gorodnichev, a former member of Vladimir Klitschko's coaching staff, who was responsible for working with sparring partners, shared his opinion on who would have won the duel between Vitaly Klitschko and Alexander Usyk. The specialist is convinced that the eldest of the Klitschko brothers could defeat the current WBA, WBO and IBF world champion in the heavyweight division. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel.